y'all, welcome back to Krista's Kitchen. Today we're going to make a roasted poblano pepper buttermilk dressing. Now I've never made this before, but I got some of these poblano peppers in my Misfits box and I wanted to figure out what I could do with them besides just like stuffed peppers. So I found this recipe online for a roasted poblano dressing mix that we're going to add a few things to and try and make it our own. But we're going to go through it together and see how it turns out. So I'm going to move y'all a little bit closer and we'll get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we have our poblano chilies or poblano peppers, whatever you want to call them, that we're going to put in the oven. Now you can do this on, if you have a gas stove top, you can put them directly on the gas, or you can pop up on your grill, and we're just going to get them nice and charred up. So I'm just going to slide these under the broiler, and we'll keep an eye on them to make sure they're not getting too burnt, but we'll give them a few minutes on that side and then we'll flip them over and give them a few minutes on the other side. But while that's going, we're going to get started on the buttermilk part of it. Let's see, I wanted to add some ranch seasoning to it also. So we're going to take that out. So we can add a little bit. We're not going to add a ton because we want to stay with most of the flavor. So here, since this isn't my recipe, I am using the little food and wine recipe to go to give me guidance. So the first thing they suggest is starting with a cup of buttermilk. And I don't keep buttermilk on hand, but I do keep my cultured buttermilk blend in the fridge. So we're going to make our own buttermilk real quick. And it's 4 tablespoons for this mix per 1 cup of water. So since it calls for a cup of buttermilk, we're going to need 4 tablespoons. Ooh, I already smell the heat hitting those peppers. They smell good. Alright. And 4 tablespoons is the same thing as a 1/4 of a cup if you have like the 1/4 of a cup measurement already close by or handy. We got that in there, just mix it all around. Let's see what it says next for us. If we can get it to open up. Let's see. Just another minute or so on that side. Cooking quickly. It says 1/2 cup of fresh cilantro leaves. Again, I don't have fresh cilantro leaves, but I do have some dried that I picked up. And if you're going from fresh to dried, you want to use about 1/2 of what it calls for. So we're going to use about 1/4 of a cup. So again, that's about 4 tablespoons. So 1, 2, 3 1/2. And we'll do another 1/2 because that last one was a little bit heavy. I think we're about to a point of flipping over our peppers. So, and if you wanted, you could wait until these come out before moving on to the next step because it will, they will cook very quickly. I'm going to flip them over. I might add just another minute or so to that other side whenever we flip them back because I want them to be nice and charred so we can slide that skin right off. And back in we go. Alright. Now let's see. Next we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of lime juice. And I'm sure if you don't have lime juice, you could use lemon if you have it. There we go. And then you want to do 1/4 of a cup and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So that's 6 tablespoons altogether. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Went a little light on that last one because I let it drip during. It also said 2 medium scallions. I don't have any scallions on me right now, so I figured I'd just toss in a little bit of onion powder. I do have some regular onion. I personally don't like raw onion, so I'll add this because I like the flavoring it gives. I just don't like having onion crunching in my teeth, and I don't like to eat onion unless it's cooked, so I figured I'd just add in a little bit of onion powder so that we have the seasoning. And then at this point, I'm just going to sprinkle in a little bit of this ranch seasoning powder, just because that sounds like it would be yummy to me. This part's not in the recipe from online, but I thought it would be nice to add. And we're all done with that part for a minute. Let's see if we can kind of prop these edges up so they char over here. But not too bad. We'll go back in a little bit longer. I'm going to get that char all the way around if we can. So while that's going, we're going to bring our blender over. And I just have a small blender that I use. I do have my big, large smoothie blender. I just don't feel like breaking that whole thing out because I'm more using it for the chopping features. All right, let's get some of this stuff out of our way. So we're going to go ahead and pull out some garlic. It says 2 cloves of garlic chopped, but if I'm having to use the blender for the poblanos anyway, I might as well just use it to chop the garlic also. So I'm going to pull off a few pieces and just stick them down in this little rolly thingy. Well, let's see. We use these 2 large ones to get the skin off of it. You can also use the back of your knife and kind of just pop them to release the oils, and those skins will slide off. There we go. I'm going to cut this little spot off. Let's see our peppers. Yay! Alright. We might be able to get just a little bit more on these sides. We really want to get that roasted flavor. Just another minute or so. Okay, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and pull out our peppers and drop them in our bowl so we can kind of sweat some of the skin off with their own heat. So there are our peppers. And drop them down into the bowl. I'm going to cover this with plastic wrap and let that heat pull the pepper skin loose so that all we have to do is really just scrape against the side of it and it will come off. So let those sit for just a minute, make them cool enough to handle, and get them softened, and we'll be back. Hey y'all, so I thought I hit the record button and obviously I didn't. After the pepper sat for a few minutes under the plastic wrap, just pulled them out, peeled the skin with my fingers. You could probably use the back of the knife which I showed, but y'all didn't see. And then I de-seeded it and pulled the stems out, and that's what's left in this little bag. Once I was done with that part, I added the peppers to my little chopper with the garlic cloves that I had put in. Used just a little dash of salt, pepper, and a little bit of sugar, and blended it all up. And I just used my mixing cup with the other ingredients to kind of emulsify everything in there, and this is what we're left with. Now I do have a little bit left over in here, and we're going to put this in the fridge, let it set up, and we're going to try it with some chicken for dinner tonight. I'm going to have this little bit on a salad for lunch. But I'll let y'all know what we think of it, but so far it's tasting really good. I can only imagine that it's going to get even better as it sets up and it kind of thickens. But let us know if you make anything like this, or if this is something you think you will try. And we'll leave our honest review down in the comments after we have it for dinner tonight. Thank y'all for joining us, and we'll see y'all next time.